Welcome to part number 12 of the Legend of Zelda, the Minish playthrough. We're about to take on the boss of the Wind Fortress, and it may look very familiar if you've played Wind Waker before. It is the same boss that was in the Tower of the Gods dungeon in Wind Waker. I think it's pretty much the exact same boss. However, it has a different strategy, so overall, it's its own unique boss fight, and it's really interesting. However, it's pretty easy. So basically, you need to destroy both of his hands, just like you would in Super Mario 64. You shoot an arrow at them, and then you slash at them with a sword, instead of just punching them like you did in Super Mario 64. Then, you become Minish and head into its mouth. And inside, you need to destroy one of the columns that has the eye on it. And it may look very easy to destroy that column, but when you go in there again, there will be dirt you have to dig through with the molest. So keep that in mind. You never really need to worry about running out of arrows, because whenever you destroy one of the hands, 5 arrows will pop out, making sure you never really run out. And overall, the boss is really easy. It's definitely not as good as the one in Wind Waker. And that boss in Wind Waker was one of the best parts of that game. That and the final boss. I mean, they totally made up for the subpar gameplay, or the subpar everything else in the game. And I don't want to say this again, but if you like Wind Waker, that's perfectly fine. That's a good game. I just don't like it. Okay, I'm not going to say that again. I just don't like the game. I don't mean to offend you. You can like it, that's fine. I just don't. And I think you only need to go inside the head 3 times, so it's really not a hard boss at all. You shouldn't have any problems with it. And if you do, then bring a fairy into the boss fight. That will help. And bring a potion if you're having trouble as well. I mean, there's not much advice I can give. I mean, you really shouldn't have any problems with this. It's a very simple boss fight. And where's the wind element? Why haven't we gotten the wind element yet? We just beat the boss. What's going on? Alright, maybe the wind element is up here. Let's see. Alright, what's this stone wall? We are the tribe of the winds. Long have we lived with the winds. We have mastered them. Now we join them. Together, with the great winds at our backs, we head for the skies. Those who come seeking our power must play the notes Zephyr teaches. May they lead you onward to the power you seek. And then a bird will come and drop you the Ocarina of Wind. And the Ocarina of Wind is very similar to the one in Link to the Past. It basically allows you to travel to certain warp points throughout the map. And if you remember those gravestones we saw earlier in the game, like the one on Crenell Mountain and the one in the Minish Forest, the ones that exploded, those are now warp pipes. Or not warp pipes, this isn't a Mario game. Yes, they are warp pipes. No, they're warp zones, and you can travel there if you play the Ocarina, and it's very nice. And this will also allow you to go to the next place you have to go to. And you won't be getting the wind element for a while now. I mean, that dungeon was it was pretty pointless. I don't know why they didn't just add a 5th element into the game. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much, but a 5th element would have been nice. And as you can see, now we have a whole bunch of places we can travel to with the Ocarina. And it's very nice. It saves a lot of time, and I love games that put in these warp points, especially when they're placed in like good locations, like convenient locations. Like they're placed in locations that you would travel to frequently. Unlike a certain game which involves sailing around a giant ocean, the warp points in this game are actually placed in convenient locations, and it's really nice. If you head to the shop, the salesman will be selling a quiver, but he charges 600 rupees, and that's a large price to pay. However, now that you have the molest, there is a way to get an infinite amount of rupees. I don't think I showed off in this playthrough, but if you go outside of Link's house and you go 1 space to the left and dig there, there will always be 20 rupees every single time. So you can just dig out the rupees, go inside Link's house, go back out, dig them up again, and repeat, and you will be able to get as many rupees as you want, and it's really cool. It's a great way to make money. In fact, it is the best way to make money, in my opinion, unless there is something I'm missing. If you know of a better way, please tell me. I would like to know, you know, for the next time I play this game, but as far as I know, that is the quickest and best way to get rupees as fast as possible, because you will be needing quite a few of them, because there's a lot of things you have to buy, and white pickle lights are expensive, and you need those to get kinstone pieces, and there's also another item you have to buy a lot of. I won't say it quite yet because we haven't made it there, but overall you are going to be needing a lot of rupees, so this infinite money trick helps out a tremendous amount. Whenever you're short on rupees, go there and get as many rupees as you want. If you don't know where to look, just find a video on YouTube. I'm sure there's about 600 videos showing you how to do it. It's not hard to figure out how to do it. I mean, it's right next to the door of Link's house, just to the left of it. You should be able to find it on your own, but if you're not, go on YouTube, type in Minish cap infinite rupee trick, and it should be there. And if the video doesn't give you a clear enough explanation, then I don't know what will. But now that we beat the Fortress of Winds, we can now go on this house and play Simon's Simulation. And basically, you go in this bed and you take a nap, and then you're transported to a dream where you fight a bunch of enemies, and if you complete it without dying, you get a heart piece. So, make sure you head here. All the enemies in there, they're not too hard. It's nothing you haven't faced before, I don't think. I think they're all enemies that you're familiar with, enemies that you've faced before. So, don't worry about dying, and you can always take in a fairy or a potion, or more fairies, like 3 fairies, because at this point I think we have 3 bottles. Yeah, we have 3 bottles at this point, so you can take in 3 fairies if you're really not confident in your abilities. Although even a beginner Minish cap player could beat this without a problem. It's really not too bad, and you'll see right here that it's just a bunch of enemies that we've seen before. Those flower enemies, those ones can be tricky. You have 2 options. You can either use the bow to kill them instantly, or you can use the boomerang to stun them and then hit them with your sword. They're both viable options, so if you have arrows, use them. If you don't, then just use the boomerang and you should be fine. And if you don't have the boomerang or the arrows, I also think you can use the gust jar. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you can also use the gust jar, so keep that in mind. And then, once you complete it, you will be awarded with a heart container. And in this case, I completed a heart container and got another heart piece to my health, which is always nice. At the end of this game, I do get all, I think there's 20 in this game. Yeah, there's 20. I get all 20 hearts, but when I take on the final boss, I only have like 14, so keep that in mind. I think I edited this in a way that I do all of the side quests before I do the final boss, and then yeah, so at one point I'm gonna have 20 hearts, and then it's gonna jump back to where I only have 14 hearts, and yeah. So returning from Majora's Mask and Wind Waker is Tingle, and Tingle is your favorite child rapist who will, or he pretends like he's a fairy, and yeah, he's just a weird character. He is incredibly, he's just weird. Like, I don't know how to explain him. And also in this game, Tingle's brothers are here. There's Knuckle, Ankle, and David Jr. And I think that David Jr. isn't related to Tingle whatsoever. And Tingle, he just dresses up like a fairy. I don't know why. And also, a lot of people don't know this, but in Majora's Mask, you can actually find Tingle's father, and he's this huge guy. I mean, he's burly, and he's really strong, and if you saw them right next to each other, you'd think there's no way that they're related, but there's a whole lot of, I think there's like a video explaining their relationship, and there's like a cutscene you can do to explore their backstory even more, so if you're interested, look it up. It might be pretty interesting. But scattered throughout Hyrule, there are these mysterious walls that you'll find in caves, and if you fuse with them, another Goron will go into the Goron Cave, and you need to find 5 of these, and they're located all throughout the world, so keep a lookout for them. They're always attached to walls, so keep that in mind. If you do visit Tingle and talk to him twice, he will tell you how many Kinstone fusions you have left. It's very useful for like when you get down to the end and you only have like 4 left. It's useful for him to tell you that you only have 4 left. And if you need to go see him, then yeah, go ahead. If you're curious on how many you have left, go see him. He will tell you. I think his brothers will also tell you, but I'm not entirely sure on that. But right now, we're gonna go on a side quest involving Tingle and his brothers. If you fuse Kinstones with all 4 of them, you get this nice optional item. And right after you complete the Fortress of Winds, you can see all 4 of them. So you can do this side quest right now, or you can save it for later, or you don't have to do it at all. I mean, the item you get is certainly not mandatory, not by a long shot, but it can be useful in certain situations, and it also comes in handy during the, not the final dungeon, but the second to last dungeon. It can come in handy there for getting past certain puzzles, and it's a nice item, but you don't have to get it if you don't want to. It's just an optional item. And yeah, watch out for that like right there. If it grabs you, you will lose your shield. I think if you kill it, you will get your shield back. I know in some Legend of Zelda games, if the like eats you, then it will eat your shield forever. But I don't think in this game it eats your shield forever. I think if you just kill it, you get it back. So I think that's the right way to do it. Because if it stole your shield forever, that would be awful. Especially if you had like a unique shield. I mean, right now we don't really have a unique shield. We just have the standard bleh shield, the standard this shield doesn't do anything shield. So it really wouldn't matter if we lost it, but it's always nice to keep the items around just for just so you can have more items, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I think that rupee right there is a like, so I could be wrong, but generally when you just see 1 rupee on the ground and it looks very suspicious, it's probably a fake rupee, so just don't grab them, stay away from them, and you should be good. So I think right now we're heading off to do the Tingle side quest. I don't know. No, okay, I'm pretty sure that we start the Tingle side quest in this video, and then we get to the reward, but we don't open the chest. I think I leave it on a cliffhanger, I think. But if I do leave it on a cliffhanger, I kind of just spoiled it right there, so yeah. Sorry for spoiling the end of my video, which really isn't that dramatic, but if you were really into the video and whatnot, and I just spoiled the ending for you, then I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Head in there for another piece of heart. There's a really strange worm enemy in there, and I don't think you see it anywhere else in the game, but it's nice to see it. I don't think I've ever killed it, so I don't know if it hurts you for a lot of hearts, or if it drops a lot of rupees, or whatnot. I don't think I've ever killed one, to be honest, because you don't see it very often, and when you do see it, you can just run right past it. So now we're introduced to our second Tingle brother. It is Ankle. He is dressed in pink. A very nice costume, if I do say so myself. He's just as weird as Tingle. In fact, he's very similar to Tingle. I know that Tingle's brothers appeared in Wind Waker, but I think only 3 of them made it into the game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, if you go to Tingle Island in Wind Waker, at the top of the tower you will find Tingle, who is just standing there, and you will also find Ankle and David Jr. pushing the tower around. I think maybe it's Ankle and Knuckle, maybe it's Knuckle and David Jr. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that there are only 3 Tingle brothers in Wind Waker. But please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know there's some Wind Waker experts out there. There's probably one Wind Waker expert that watches my videos. Maybe. I doubt it. Not many people watch my videos, but I don't care. I do this for fun, and I have a lot of fun doing it. And if you don't like my videos, then what are you doing here? But, yeah.